I'm going to be showing you something really interesting today on how to make your own tallow face moisturizer. I'm wearing no makeup today. I love just being able to just put this moisturizer on at night. It's just so nice. You just massage it into your skin. It's just magically beautiful, and then in the morning all you have to do is splash your face with cold water and towel dry it, and it actually cleans your skin as well. So it's not just a moisturizer, it's a cleanser. You just won't need anything else. Saxophone is sitting here because I am doing a rock and roll festival soon, and I'm trying to add more rock and roll rockabilly songs to my repertoire. I'm trying to learn 3 a day, and I've got like 30 songs to learn. I'm up to 6 already, so the saxophone is staying in position. As soon as I finish doing this video, I will be back on the sax and playing, learning as many songs as I can. But in the meantime, let's talk how to DIY your own beautiful tallow moisturizer. So how I got into tallow moisturizer, obviously being a carnivore, we try to use as many sort of animal-based products as possible, and I figure if it's good enough for the insides of my body, it's good enough for the skin, the largest organ in the body. I actually bought this stuff, this tallow moisturizer, handmade, on the Gold Coast, and it cost me about $40 at the time that I bought it, but it did last about 6 months. So as far as moisturizers go, that's pretty good value for money. But then all the way up from Victoria, I was stopping everywhere trying to find a shop that sold tallow moisturizer. I couldn't find any anywhere, and I was getting really frustrated. I know you can order it online, but when you're on the move all the time, like I am, being nomadic, like ordering online is not really possible because you're moving all the time. By the time things turn up, you're often gone. So the only time I get to order anything online is if I'm staying in one spot for a certain amount of time, which I haven't been for a while. So I kind of got a little bit creative and thought, well, you know, I read the ingredients in it. It's basically tallow and a bit of olive oil they put in this one. I find olive oil not the best for the skin. It just doesn't soak in quite as well, and I've always been a big fan of using macadamia oil. I've been using macadamia oil as an all-over skin and face moisturizer for probably 25 years now. It's just a beautiful skin-friendly oil. It doesn't go rancid very easily like some oils do. It's just beautiful. So I decided to make my own batch of this. I've actually recycled this jar once because it lasts for ages. So I made my own using the formula I'm about to show you and filled this jar up, and the jar is now pretty much empty again. So it's time to make some more tallow face cream. Let's do it. First of all, you might be asking, what is tallow? Tallow is basically the fat from beef. So in Australia, we don't actually call it tallow, really. We call it tallow when you use it in a face cream, but it's actually dripping. You can also use lard, which is pig fat, but I find the tallow. Now, I buy this one from the supermarket, grass-fed beef dripping in a big block, because I actually also use it to cook my meat with. So I was like, I'll just get versatile. Now, how much is that? I think it was about $4. $4 for a whole thing. You won't need a whole thing to make cream unless you want to make a lot of cream. The other ingredient I use is Nutworks cold pressed macadamia oil. That's from the Sunshine Coast. I've always used that for the whole time I've been making my own. I've been making my own moisturizers just using macadamia oil and essential oils. The essential oils I use, I got this gorgeous little assortment of beautiful essential oils, which are from Organic Oils Direct. You can order those online. These little bottles have lasted me a couple of years because I only use a few drops. So I've got a nice selection there. So you can put whatever kind of oils you want to put in. 2 or 3 is usually plenty if you want to have a, experiment around with your essential oils. That is a 250 gram block, and my jar is a 100 gram jar. So I do use less than half of a block for that. So it's like a couple of bucks worth of the actual main ingredient. The good thing about adding a bit of oil to it is that it will keep it more in a liquid, or in a cream type state, rather than solid like this is if you have it just sitting around and not, you know, it'll go really hard and solid and waxy, whereas this sort of makes it just more creamy and easier to spread around on your skin. So at the moment, excuse me, I'm still humming. I've got the pan, just a little non-stick fry pan on the element here, and I'm just heating that up a little bit to get it ready, and then I'll chop my dripping and show you what it looks like when it's about. I'm not really a not really a measuring type of person. It's like, that'll do. If you end up with too much and it doesn't fill in the jar, then put it in another container, and you know, it's just approximately. Nothing is set in stone in my cooking experience, so we'll just wing it. This is my little cooking setup here in the caravan. Now this stuff gets really crumbly when you chop into it, especially when it's been in the fridge like this has, so we're just going to slice off some. That's pretty much melting straight away. That's probably too much, to be honest with you. That's less than, way less than half. It's hard to tell. It melts down and it actually shrinks, but it expands when it cools. So I'll turn that down a little bit. We just want it on a low heat. Once it's made up, you don't need to keep it in the fridge or anything. It just sits on the counter, so it's ready to use. Right, so that is melting away beautifully. Just getting a wooden spatula to help it along a little bit. And I'm going to put into that, keep it super low, like on 1. Into that, so I don't know how much is in here. There's probably about 100 mils in here at the moment, but obviously I don't need all of that. I'm going to put in about 50 mil maybe. I really have no idea. But we're just going to blend that all together. Right, I could take that off, turn that heat off now because it's fully melted. And we're just going to keep combining it and combining it and combining it like that. You can whip it, like some people whip it up. I didn't really find that necessary. I found that if I put it on my fingers and then just rub it between my fingers before I apply it to my face, it kind of melts pretty quickly in your hands. It's looking beautiful. Perfect mixture there. And just let that cool down a little bit before we add the essential oils. Get off the heat. So that is off the heat now. I'm just going to continue stirring it and stirring it and stirring it for a little while. Turn the stove off. As you can see, it's pretty quick, pretty easy. And when we add the essential oils, we don't really want it to be super hot. So we'll let it cool just a little bit and keep stirring it and keep stirring it. It does stay hot for quite a long time. Okay, that's probably been about maybe 10 minutes. I've just been letting it cool, and it's definitely getting a thicker consistency to it. It will turn white again when it solidifies eventually, but that's really well blended now, and it's definitely cool enough. For my oils, I've chosen patchouli, some geranium, and some lang lang. I will just add in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 drops of each. They're only teeny drops, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just love 7 because I think it's a magic number. So, oh, I can smell that already. That smells heavenly. Nice combo. all really nicely combined in there. Oh yeah, that smells exactly like the last one did. I probably used the exact same oils as last time, I'm pretty sure. That smells heaven. Okay, I think that'll do it. Now, if you're a way tidier cook than me, you might want to use a funnel, but I'm just going to do this over the sink. So there's my little jar, and we're going to give this one more quick little stir around. I got a feeling it's going to be bigger than the jar. I've probably made too much, but I'll find another jar to put it in if I have to. And we just pour it in. Well, it's pretty close. Just a tiny bit extra. That looks pretty good. And I'll just leave that to cool on the countertop before I put the lid on. And I got a little bit extra. I'm just going to put the little bit extra into this gorgeous little saucer I've got. And I can use that over the next week or so. And the other really important thing is always, always, always clean your greasy pan with a paper towel. Don't wash oils down the sink ever. So I always wipe everything out with a paper towel thoroughly. And then that paper towel goes into the rubbish, and I don't have to worry about recongealing grease down my drain and out into the environment, especially if you've got a house. I mean, I just have my own little drain, but eventually you will block drains if you pour too much grease down there. Hot water and detergent might break it up while it's in your kitchen, but it re-solidifies as soon as it gets into the ground. So do the right thing. Mop it up with a paper towel. I'll show you what it looks like when it sets. Okay, my tallow balm is beautifully set in its jar, and I'll show you the extra little saucer that I made of it as well. The ultimate test, I'm going to use this saucer one first, obviously, because it hasn't got a lid. So this, just get a little bit of cream like that. There it is. And I've already put some on my face before today, so I'm just going to use it for my hands. But yeah, that's how I usually do it. I'll rub it into my hands first and then just massage it into your skin and all around here. It's so lovely. It's velvety soft, so good for your hands as well. You can put it on your arms and on your legs. I find it really useful on my hands when especially when I'm using the public amenities blocks, and the soaps that they usually have in there I find really harsh. I don't really like using them, but also know I need to wash my hands. So I'll always come back and put a little bit of this on my hands, and it will feel greasy at first, but it soaks in quite quickly. And if it's, if it's too greasy for you, you can just use a little paper towel or hand towel and just wipe but it will soak in. And it's great as a nighttime moisturizer. It just feels so nice. And it smells so good. And yeah, that's every night before I go to sleep. And I know people tell me I've got good skin. I think I've got good skin. I mean, so funny. People have always told me I've got good skin ever since I can remember, since I was a teenager. Wow, your skin's amazing. And I never ever looked my age. Like, I spent most of my life people just thinking I was way younger than I was. It's really only been in the last sort of few years where I feel like I actually do look my age now. I'm 55, and yeah, I don't think I can get away with pretending I'm any younger anymore. Not that I care. I really don't care. Like, people ask me how old I am, and I'm like, I'm 55. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of. I think women have been lying about their ages for so long that it sets those of us telling the truth up, because if you're lying about your age, and people don't really know what that actually looks like, that age. So I'm proud of the aging process. I don't intend to do anything as far as Botox and fillers and plastic surgery, and I try to use all natural products as much as possible. I do wear makeup when I'm out and about. I like to wear a bit of makeup, and I think it makes me look you know, finished and like I've made an effort, which is a weird cultural thing we do, isn't it? Because really, it'd be great. I love not wearing makeup. I love not wearing makeup because it's better for my skin, and I find makeup really irritating for my eyes. I have to use like brands that are non-irritating and things like that. So anyway, enough rambling from me. I hope you enjoy this beautiful, I'm really quite wrapped that it was like this perfect amount for this little jar, and a bit extra that'll probably last me probably the next week or two, to be honest, because you really don't need much. You just need a finger smear and that'll be enough to do your whole face. So I'll probably be doing my legs and everything with this over the next week or so. So yeah, hope you like it.